This is the Giants Postcast, your instant game reaction for the San Francisco Giants, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Yo, what's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Locked On Giants Postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. You may know me as the former producer for the Murph and Mac Morning Show on KMBR, or maybe from some of these other Locked On Sports podcasts we do. We also do the Locked On Warriors and Locked On 49ers postcast as well. But today, the Giants got absolutely shelled. Couldn't pull off the sweep against the Phillies. They lost by double digits today at Oracle Park, or will lose by double digits, because as we're recording this, the Giants are still finishing up this one in the bottom of the ninth right now. But this one's over. I mean, it's 13-0. I'll let you know when the final comes across during the show. But this one, just pathetic performance from the Giants. I'm not going to crush them too hard because they've been playing pretty well lately. But the problem persists. Justin Verlander picks up another loss, still searching for his first win in a Giants uniform. However, today's failure can't be solely pinned on the aging veteran. He only surrendered 2 earned runs, didn't walk anyone, and struck out 7. Still, the question remains, should the Giants pivot to another option in the starting rotation? We'll break it all down, but first, I want to thank all of you for watching us on the Locked On Giants YouTube channel. Please, if you aren't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button right now. Thanks also for listening on the Locked On Giants podcast feed. However you're tuning in, we appreciate it. And make sure to check out the Locked On Giants Daily Show for more in-depth coverage. My guy, Ben Kaspick, always does a great job. And this one, I mean, this was just not a fun game to watch, man. As entertaining as last night's miraculous win was, you had to have a little bit of a letdown eventually. And hey, I'm glad that the stinker came against the Phillies and not against the Dodgers. Get it out of your system now. I mean, the Giants gave up 17 hits today. They only had 4 of them themselves. They lost. They're trailing right now 13-0. Mike Yastrzemski came in to pitch the 9th inning. That's the state of things in this game right now. But overall, it's the focus is on Verlander after this game. That's what the big that's what the big spotlight is going to be on. And after this one, that's absolutely what you're going to be talking about.
This is what you'll be talking about.
And let's talk about Verlander's day today first, and then we can talk about the rest of his season a little bit after that. So for Verlander today, not a bad line, actually. 6 innings pitched. He did give up 7 hits, but no walks. He struck out 7. I thought the no walks was a big deal. He gave up a home run to Bryce Harper, but I mean, that was basically the one of the 2 real mistake situations he got himself into. Overall, 4 runs scored while Verlander was on the mound. The defense did not do him any favors today. The Giants nearly had more errors than hits in this one. They had 3 errors and only 4 hits. By the way, this one just went final score 13-0. Giants lose. But you still win the series, and you're still in good shape going into this series against the Dodgers that's on deck. I don't think today's game really takes away from much of the momentum the Giants have built up over these last couple games, couple series. You still win the series here. You still won the series against, I almost said Oakland, against the A's, not currently with a location descriptor that play in West Sacramento, but the big series is against the Dodgers. If the Giants get swept against the Dodgers going into the break, then maybe we have a little bit of a pressing the OS button, if you know what I mean. But for this one, Verlander, not his worst start as a Giant. I mean, he's had a lot of bad luck, and today was just more bad luck for him. But still, you look at the whole body of work, and the one word that sticks out to me, unimpressive. I mean, he seems old. That's really all it is. He's a guy who can still do some things that most 40-plus-year-olds can't. And that alone is a pretty amazing accomplishment. He's still able to touch 96, 97 with that fastball. And his off-speed stuff has actually been pretty good this year. That's the one thing that you can point to with Justin Verlander, is that his off-speed stuff has still been effective. He's got a off-speed run value of 2, but then you look across the board at all of his other advanced metrics, and nothing looks good. He's got a -8 pitching run value in total. That's the 12th percentile in Major League Baseball. It's, I mean, awful. That's well towards the bottom of the league. His fastball run value, even worse, 5th percentile in all of Major League Baseball. So that means only 5% of Major League pitchers have a lower fastball run value than this guy. It's -8. That's not very good. I mean, obviously, I mean, that goes without saying. but his expected ERA, 4.98, bottom, it's the 14th percentile. Only 14% of players have a worse expected ERA than he does. Expected batting average, 277. That's super, super, super high. Verlander is almost every single advanced metric category that you can look at on his baseball savant page. He's in the bottom half of the league, in the bottom quarter of the league in many of these categories. He's in the bottom quarter of the league in ground ball percentage, in extension, which extension he can't do anything about that. That's just his size. But his barrel rate, his expected batting average, his expected ERA, everything else is bottom 50% of the league. His average exit velo, 89.8 miles an hour. It's 39th percentile. His chase percentage, getting guys to chase 27.2% of the time, only getting guys to whiff 25.3% of the time. And he's given up a lot of hard contact too, 48.8% of the time. He's given up a hard hit ball. So this is not a good situation for Justin Verlander. Going into the All-Star break winless, I mean, you can't pick out each individual start and say that he's the reason that they lost all of these games, or that he was in line to lose many of these games when he exited the game, that he wasn't in line for a win. The Giants still have overall won a couple of Verlander starts. They've won 4 of his now 15 starts on the season. It means they've lost 11 of them though. And when I'm looking at this whole body of work, I have a hard time trying to defend this guy. I mean, yes, he does have some moments where you watch him pitch and you're like, maybe he's got it. Maybe he can bounce back. Maybe he can recover. Today was kind of one of those days, honestly. I mean, the 7 strikeouts to 0 walks, the 2 earned runs in 6 innings pitched. This was one of his better starts as a Giant. It's not his fault that Tristan Beck came in and absolutely exploded, and that the Giants gave up 7 runs in the 8th inning, and that Scott Alexander didn't pitch much better. And obviously Mike Yastrzemski gave up some runs as well because he's, a right fielder trying to pitch. But all of these things tell me, when I'm looking at the full body of work with Justin Verlander, if you're asking me, I would much rather pivot to a prospect. I would much rather see a guy like Carson Wizenhunt, that we have all heard for years is the truth down in the minor leagues. And I know he's not having the best stretch of starts right now. It's also worth noting that the PCL is a very, very, very tough minor league division to pitch in. The hardest singular division in all of AAA and all of the minor leagues for anybody to pitch in is the PCL. So, I mean, Carson Wizenhunt, he has not been going as great as you would hope in his recent games. I mean, he hasn't had technically hasn't had a quality start since May 18th. And quality start means 6 innings and not giving up a ton of runs. He only gave up 1 run in that May 18th start in 7 innings pitched. And since then, he hasn't crested 6 innings pitched. But you know who else hasn't crested 6 innings pitched? Justin Verlander. And we know what Verlander is. We've seen it. We know what this guy is, and we know that he's aging, and we know that he's on the downward slope of his career. He is in the twilight days of his career. Carson Wizenhunt has his whole career in front of him. This guy's going to get better and progress daily. The more that you get him to pitch against good competition, the better he's going to be. The better this guy's going to adapt. I want this guy to come up and make some starts. And I'm not saying jettison Justin Verlander. I'm saying maybe give him an extra couple days off between starts, because he is 42 years old. This guy is, I mean, I'm not going to go out of my way and drive off the road to make fun of Justin Verlander for being old, but I mean, I'm surprised dude's arm is attached to his body still at this point, with as many pitches as he's thrown in his career, with as hard as he throws, with as hard as he continues to throw. You know he's not going to bounce back in a dramatic way. Like, there's, in my opinion, maybe I'm wrong, and I hope I'm wrong, but there's zero chance in my mind that Justin Verlander comes back in the second half of the season and returns to form from a couple of years ago when he was absolutely dominant. I don't see that happening. I really don't. And as I said, I hope I'm wrong about this. I hope he proves me wrong. But if you're asking me, I want to see the young guy. I want to see Carson Wizenhunt. I want him to have the opportunity to make a couple spot starts in place of Verlander, maybe skip him a time or two in the order, maybe out of the All-Star break, give him a little bit of extra time to try and get himself, acclimated again. Try and get that arm a little bit of rest. Give Carson Wizenhunt a start after the All-Star break. Skip Justin Verlander once in the rotation. Maybe give Mason Black a start. I don't really care what the Giants do as far as the other option, but I would rather see a young guy who we have some hopes for, that he can actually make an impact on this team, not just this season, but in years to come. And let Verlander get a little bit of a rest. You're obviously not going to DFA a guy of his status, even if he doesn't win a single game for the Giants. If somehow he duplicates this same first half performance in the second half of the year, that would be a pretty bad situation, but he'd still provide some valuable stuff to this team that virtually nobody else on the roster can. He's a great mentor for Logan Webb, an absolutely phenomenal guy for Webby to learn from. Same with Robbie Ray. His locker is situated between the two. And you know that Webb is gleaning stuff from Verlander. Look at like the evolution that we've seen from Logan Webb this year, with the way that he hunts strikeouts now, the way that he's able to kind of just control the at-bat, and not just one at-bat at a time, but throughout the entire game. He's using at-bats to set up later at-bats. And in my opinion, that started, maybe it started before Justin Verlander, but it has taken off. That kind of stuff has really taken off this year for Logan Webb, with Justin Verlander being a sounding board for him, his wily vet that he can bounce stuff off and learn from and take information from and apply it to his own craft. I don't want to see Justin Verlander cut. I don't want to see him traded. I don't want to see the Giants, do some shady stuff with a guy who's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. There's a level of respect and order that happens in baseball, and some people hate that. I actually kind of like that about baseball. It's one of the last like old school kind of things that still lingers in the sport. But at a certain point, you got to make the pivot. You got to try something different. The saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, the inverse is true. If it is broke, well, do something about it. And right now, Justin Verlander starts are broken. So go do something about it. Figure out how to fix this problem. Give him a day off. Give him a week off. Give him a couple weeks off. Let Carson Wizenhunt start a game or two. Let maybe Mason Black start a game or two. I'm not going to go as far as say, Keaton Wynn or some of these other guys. I'm not saying get desperate, but some of these guys that you think maybe could have an impact on this team, some guys that could maybe be roster additions when they're expanded late in the season, maybe you let some of those guys come up now and get their feet wet a little bit before you throw them into the fire in the middle of a playoff race in September. Not everyone's going to be Madison Bumgarner, right? Like I'm not expecting Carson Wizenhunt to come in September and just dominate people. Like that's probably not going to happen. Would it be great? Sure, but probably not going to happen. I would love to see this kid get a couple opportunities. And yeah, if you're looking at his recent starts, I mean, in July, he's had one start. Wizenhunt has, and he wasn't terrible. He did give up 9 hits through 5 innings of work, but only gave up 2 runs. And I mean, he's only given up 2 runs in his last couple starts. He gave up 7 runs on June 24th. That was 3 starts ago for Wizenhunt. But ultimately, I would like to see this guy get some action against major league batters. I want to see him I want to see if he can live up to the moment. I want to see if he can live up to the hype. We've heard about him for long enough. It's time to give Carson Wizenhunt some run. We got more to get into from today's game. We got to get you today's turning point and also a player of the game. We will scrape the bottom of the barrel for a Giants player of the game from today's game. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on the Locked On Giants postcast. Today's show is sponsored by OpenPhone. If you're running a business, you know that every missed call is money left on the table. Think about the last time you had a service emergency, like a burst pipe. If the first plumber didn't answer, did you wait? Did you call or did you call a second one? You absolutely called that second plumber. That's why having a reliable phone line for your business is so important, and that's why you need OpenPhone. OpenPhone is the #1 business phone system that helps you streamline and scale customer communication, all from an app on your phone or computer. If you're used to juggling multiple phones just to keep business and personal calls separate, OpenPhone solves that problem instantly. Your whole team can share one number and respond to customers like a shared inbox. No more who's handling this type mass emails, and the AI agent handles all after-hours calls, answers common questions, and captures leads, so you'll never miss a customer again. OpenPhone is offering Locked On Giants listeners 20% off your first 6 months at openphone.com/LockedOnMLB. That's OpenPhone.com/LockedOnMLB. And if you have existing numbers with another service, OpenPhone will port them over at no extra charge. OpenPhone, no missed calls, no missed customers. And today's show is also sponsored by FanDuel. Summer sports are in full swing, and whether you're all about baseball under the lights, golf on the green, or high-stakes soccer action, FanDuel is the best way to make every game more exciting. You're already following the action. Why not make it a little more thrilling? With FanDuel, you can get in on the game while your friends are getting sunburned at the beach. And in this one, I gave you the same thing I've been telling you guys. Hammer the over on opposing starting pitcher strikeouts. And today, Luzardo, a lefty, I hope you did that because he struck out 7 Giants today in his 7 innings pitched, and that cash. So hopefully you're taking this advice and betting on opposing starting pitcher over on strikeouts on your FanDuel account. And if you're new to FanDuel, it's a perfect time for you to get in on this because new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started. Welcome back to the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel, and today, not a great day for Verlander as he gets roughed up a little bit, but ultimately, he wasn't really the big problem today. The bullpen, Tristan Beck specifically, just completely imploded. He only got 1 out, gave up 6 earned runs. He walked a guy, gave up 5 hits, got really batted around. That ERA balloons for Tristan Beck to 8.10. That is not very good. I like Tristan Beck. I like him. He's a fun guy. He's a fun story. I think it's time for him to go back to AAA. I mean, there's no way that you can look at what he's done recently with this team and really justify keeping him up with the rest of this bullpen. I mean, everybody else in this bullpen has been pretty damn good. And Scott Alexander, he just got here. We'll give him a little bit of a pass for now. We'll see how much how well he can acclimate as time goes on. But overall, this Giants game, not a very fun game to watch. Ultimately, I thought the turning point came in that 6th inning when the Phillies tacked on 2 more runs. It just felt like the game was starting to slip away. And the way the offense was going today, I did not have a ton of confidence that they were going to be able to work their way back into this one. When they were still down by 2, I thought maybe you could tap into that magic that the Giants had last night and maybe come away with a win. But man, that 6th inning really got away from the Giants, and that's when it started to get away from the Giants before it really got away from them in the 8th. That's why the 6th inning is today's turning point.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
And this one, I mean, it wasn't as bad as it could have been. The Nick Castellanos single for me was really the moment because before then you're thinking, all right, maybe the Giants can get out of this. Bryce Harper was already on second as he had doubled, and Alec Baum had lined out. So you got 1 out. But then Verlander throws a wild pitch, and Bryce Harper advances to third. Then Nick Castellanos singles to right field, and to left field, and Bryce Harper scores on the play. Then Nick Castellanos steals third base, and then the Phillies' Max Kepler gets a sac fly to score him. It just felt like it was getting away from the Giants, and I did not have a lot of confidence in the way this offense was rolling today for them to be able to make it come back. In fact, only 2-3 hitters on the Giants actually picked up a hit today. Elliot Ramos, Matt Chapman, and Wilmer Flores, which leads me to today's player of the game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
And the player of the game, I mean, we got not a lot to select from. So I'm going to go with Wilmer Flores, who he had 2 hits in this game. And that's my whole reasoning behind naming him the Locked On Giants player of the game. There's nobody else that I felt like deserved this. Maybe we could have made a case for Justin Verlander considering he struck out 7 and walked 0. Again, I'm not sitting here saying that this guy sucks and the Giants need to move on from him. As far as some of the guys in the chat, I see you, LD, out there. You chill, bro. Like I'm not ripping Verlander. I'm telling you straight up stats about what he's been doing this year. I just would like to see a younger guy than a 42-year-old guy who we know is on the verge of retirement and is probably not going to contribute a whole heck of a lot this season for the Giants. I mean, we've had more than half of the season go by, and this guy still doesn't have a win. We know what he is at this point, and I think that, you should kind of start to look for other options. If it's not working, then find something that does work. And so in this case, we're going to give Wilmer Flores the player of the game because he picked up 2 hits. That's really all that I can surmise from this one. The Giants struck out 8 times. They only drew 2 walks. They only had 2 at-bats with runners in scoring position. This was a bad game. Rafael Devers grounded into a double play. There was just all sorts of miscues offensively for the Giants. And the last thing I'll say before we get on out of here, that's nothing new, man. Against left-handers, the Giants absolutely suck. There's no two ways about it. The Giants versus left-handed pitching are absolutely god-awful. And I mean, they're one of the worst in all of baseball. They're batting just .214 against lefties this season. Their on-base percentage, .280. They're slugging only .344. Their OPS, .625. I mean, that is just horrid across the board. And versus left-handed starting pitchers, they've been really bad, and they're going to continue to be really bad this year. I mean, they usually they started to pick things up a little bit, but they're now 10-16 on the season. That's better than the 2-8 or whatever it was that they were earlier this season. But their record versus right-handed starters, 41-27. So dramatically different between lefty-righty splits. The Giants got to figure out how to hit left-handed pitching. That is really going to be the crux of what they do going forward in the second half. If they can make an adjustment to that, they will be a lot better. Rafael Devers was supposed to be that guy. He hits lefties pretty well. He was supposed to be the guy to turn it around. We have yet to see that from him. He is supposedly dealing with an injury, but hey, maybe it's him trying to get acclimated here in San Francisco. I just want to see this guy work out. I want to see him turn it around. We're still waiting. It's all the time that we got for you guys here on the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. We'll see you next time when the Giants play the Dodgers on Friday. The Smurfs are coming up next. And man, oh man, do the Giants really want to win this series? If all of us want to see the Giants beat the damn Dodgers at Oracle Park and prove to everybody that they can hang with the biggest of the big dogs in Major League Baseball in their division, and they have the fight in them to not roll over and die against this bigger competition. You won the series against the Phillies. Now carry that momentum into the next series against the Dodgers. It's all the time that we got for you guys today on the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. We'll see you next time. Peace.